guys, it's Sarah Sargent and I'm back today with another video, and in today's video I am going to be using this Moon Spell palette by Lunar Beauty, and I purchased this off Poshmark. So if you guys want to find out if this was a good purchase or a complete dud, then just keep watching and I will tell you guys my thoughts. Okay guys, so we are going to be checking out this Lunar Beauty Moon Spell palette. I do think that this is no longer in production, but you might be able to still find it. I haven't really checked out the website or anything, but I have been purchasing a couple of things here and there on Poshmark, and you would be surprised how many beauty products are on Poshmark that are still new in the box. I don't know if people just get these things as gifts and then decide that they don't want them, so they sell them on Poshmark. I'm not really too sure, but I did purchase this off Poshmark, new in box. So let's talk a little bit about the packaging on this. I'm going to be doing swatches in just a second. I remember when this palette first came out and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I have never purchased anything from Lunar Beauty before, so this is a completely new brand for me, but the packaging on this is so stunning. It's just so intricate. So this looks like a book that would be, you know, on a library shelf. It has this beautiful book jacket and then all of this like gold pressed filigree around and like a moon cycle, and then the back of it has all of the palette information and the side of it looks like a book binding. It's just so gorgeous. Also on the side of the palette there are two gold keys right here and a little skull right there. This is so cute, and of course Lunar Beauty is cruelty free, of course. When you take the palette out, this is the front of the palette, and I have to say that this could be the most beautiful palette packaging I have ever seen, in my opinion. But I love, you know, occult style aesthetics. If any of you guys follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I recently picked up a ton of vintage occult books. So I'm really into this. I mean, there's like a palm, snake, spider, an eye. It's just so cool. And then I especially love the back side of this. There are two hands with, it looks like maybe some planet. Hopefully you guys can see this, but it is just so gorgeous. So I remember when Manny put this out, I watched his video of the release of this, and I remember him saying that all the names on the inside are named after famous like pop culture witches. So that's really exciting. So when we open the palette, there's a nice big mirror in here. I'll just take the plastic off of this. These are what the colors look like, and I'm going to be swatching these for you guys in a sec. Right off the bat, I really love the color story in here. There are a lot of purples and some nudes down the center, and then some greens and blues. I recognize a lot of these witch names already, which is super fun. So I wanted to get started with swatching these for you guys so you could see. Like I said, I've never used any of the Lunar Beauty products before, so this is going to be a complete first impression for me as well. But let's just go ahead and get started. So the first shade that I am going to swatch is probably the first color that caught my eye in this palette, and the shade name is Prue. It looks like this. It's this iridescent, like violet glittery shade, and it looks so stunning. Okay, the second shade in here is called Piper, and this one looks like a deep magenta shade. It looks like it has a little bit of sheen in it as well. And just one thing that I'm noticing from touching this shade is it feels really buttery, like smooth and soft. So I'm guessing that these shadows are going to have a pretty good payoff. The next shade in here is stunning. It's called Phoebe, and this is a glittery iridescent fuchsia shade. It kind of reminds me of a shade that I would have used like back in the day from Urban Decay. It kind of is giving me like Urban Decay vibes a little bit. The next shade is called Paige, and this to me looks like a mauve-y fuchsia. The next shade and the final shade in this purple row is called Sabrina, and this to me just looks like a bright, true toned purple. It's matte, so it doesn't have any shine in it. That is the top row of the Moonspell palette swatched. This shade right here called Phoebe, I remembered what it reminds me of. This reminds me of the Urban Decay shade called Big Bang, and I think it was in a lip gloss, and it was in an eyeshadow and an eye pencil, but if you guys remember Big Bang, this shade right here is totally giving me like Urban Decay vibes. Okay, so next up we're going to be swatching the middle row of those neutral shades. And first up is the shade Winifred, and this to me is just like a medium warm brown neutral shade. Would be a great transition shade for any of these warm colors. Next up is the shade Sarah. I didn't realize that I had like a witchy name, but that's cool, I'll go with it. Anyways, this is a like medium neutral cool brown. Okay, next up we have the shade Mary, which is an interesting color. It is almost like a metallic glittery taupe color, but it also has a little bit of chrome and a little bit of like a green shift in it. Next up we have the shade Samantha, which is another glittery shade. This shade to me looks like a deep rose gold color. It definitely has a lot of like pink tones in it. Okay, next up we have the shade Kiki, which is a medium matte cocoa brown. Okay, and that is all of the middle row of those neutral brown shades swatched. The next shade that we have in the bottom row is Hermione, and this is like a medium true gold. It's definitely metallic. The next shade in this palette that really caught my eye is called Bonnie. It's a very interesting like matte acid green color, but it is slightly muted. It's not a fluorescent acid green, although it is bright, there is something that is kind of toned down about it. Okay, next up we have the color Marnie, which is a matte army moss green. And fun thing that I just realized is I'm trying to like go through my friends list and think of all the girls that I know that have the names in this palette, and actually one of my really good friends is named Marnie, so that's kind of funny. Okay, the next shade is called Nancy, and this is a matte, bright aqua teal color. Alright, the last shade in this palette is called Fiona, and this is a metallic, deep, rich, like aqua emerald shade. It is so stunning. Okay, so there is that final row all swatched. All right, so all of these colors swatched really well. They definitely swatched differently. The Metallics, I noticed when I swatched my finger just once, they did go on like a little bit like chunky and crumbly, but once I rubbed my finger back and forth, they did melt into the skin, and I don't think that they would be chunky on my eye. So we will test that in just a second. All of the matte shades were extremely like buttery and smooth. They felt really nice. So I think that these are gonna perform really well, but let's test it out on my eyes. First up, I am going to use this Sarah shade right here, and I am just going to basically do a little bit of eye contouring and just sweep this throughout my crease. So I want to go in just very, very lightly with this, just to create a nice shape. Okay, next up I'm going to go in with this Marnie shade right here, and I am going to sweep that into my outer crease. Okay, so the color payoff on that is pretty good. I just picked up a little bit of my product, but I did lay it down a little bit heavy-handed. I don't know if you guys can see this right here. It's kind of come down a little bit. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this Bonnie shade right here, and I'm going to place that on the front half of my lid. Okay, now I'm just going to blend out that line a little bit. I really love the way that even this combination looks, of just like the dark mossier green on the outside and that like acid green on the inner corners, but I think I'm going to keep going just because I want to use a little bit more of these shades. So next I am going to use this Paige shade right there, and I am going to just pop this right in this area just to add a little bit of interest, just very, very lightly. Okay, so I feel like this kind of went into like an 80s realm a little bit with like the different colors, but let's keep going and we're gonna make this work. All right, next up I want to go in with this Fiona shade down here, and I am going to put that on the outer half, or maybe the outer third of my eyelid. So this is a glittery shade. It does have quite a lot of fallout. I think I am just gonna press this down on my lid where I place that color. Like, I'm going to press with my brush and then just kind of like melt it into the lid. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm describing. And then I'm just blending this into that Marnie shade that we put down originally. Okay, so I'm going to be lining underneath my eyes and in my waterline with this Marc Jacobs gel liner in the shade Jazzberry, and this is a metallic like fuchsia mauve. And then I'm just going to smudge that out. Okay, now I'm going to go over that liner with this shade right here called Piper, and I'm just going to be pressing this into my lower waterline and then smudging it out. Wow, those two shades suit each other really well. Also, I'm noticing that that shade on my lower eyes is really making the green color of my eyes pop. So if you guys out there watching have green eyes, you might want to try this shade or a shade that's similar if you want to really make your eyes pop. Okay, I think I'm going to go back into that taupey Sarah color and just tone down this inner pink that I put down. This is the only part of the look that is just like kind of bothering me a little bit. Okay, I like that a lot more. And I've actually gone in and pulled this down around the bridges of my nose to just contour a little bit more. Just a little bit more of like a bolder look. But I am much happier with that. All right, next up I'm going to go in with my trusty Too Faced glitter glue. And I'm going to pop this down on my inner corners. It just creates like a nice sticky base for these glittery eyeshadows to stick to. And since this is going to be on my inner corners, I don't want to end up with a bunch of glitter in my eyeball. Okay, so I've got a nice sticky base down. I am going to pop this Prue shade right here in my inner corners. And I'm going to try using a small brush first. If this doesn't work, I'll go in with my finger. Oh no, that works. Having that glitter glue there, just like the shadow just kind of attaches itself so easily. Wow, that shade is so bright. Can you guys see that? Oh my gosh. So I am gonna go and tap over this with my finger, just to kind of work it into the skin a bit more. That shade is so blindingly bright. It's kind of crazy. As I mentioned, the glittery shades do go on a little bit chunky, but if you take your finger and kind of rub them into the skin, they have such a nice glow. Next up, I'm going to be doing a quick little wing with my black Urban Decay liner in the color 0. Okay, so I went ahead and popped on that eyeliner on the second half of my lids. I like to leave that inner eyelid space pretty open usually, just because I do have hooded eyelids. So if I put liner on, then you can't see the eyeshadow color. I think that Prue shade is going to be a little chunky to use as a highlight today, unfortunately, because I do think that it's really gorgeous on the inner corners, but I think it might not melt correctly and blend out into my cheeks. So I am going to be using this Ofra Nikki Tutorials collab. Oh, that's funny. I'm like using 2 YouTube collab makeup products in one video. This shade is in Cloud 9. This has quickly become one of my favorite highlighters, actually. It's so intense, but it doesn't have glitter in it, which I love. I really don't like chunky glittery highlights. That is such a beautiful glow though. Can you guys see that? For mascara today, I got a sample of this Grande lash. It's Grande Drama from Grane Cosmetics, this mascara, and it's supposed to be really good for your eyelashes and like help your eyelashes grow. So I really wanted to try this out. I actually got this sample in a Black Friday like sample bag that I got from Ulta, which I'm going to be showing you guys like my Black Friday Sephora and Ulta hauls right after this video. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I picked up for Black Friday, stay tuned because that video should be up shortly after this one. So I've never used this before, but I have used the Grande Lash Serum. But to be honest, I keep forgetting to use it like regularly. I remember and then I go like a week without using it, and then I use it again, and then I go another week and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that, and then I use it again. So I haven't really given it a fair shot. I have heard really good things about it, that it does work, but I'm not using it correctly. Okay, so first impressions on this mascara. It goes on super dry. Like you kind of have to work fast because it seems like right away the first coat you put it on, and it's hard to get on because it is such a dry consistency, and then once you have it on, you go in to try to like build it up or put on more coats, and it feels like it's gonna start to like crumble. Okay, I am gonna go in for lipstick today with one of my all-time favorite shades. This is Cashmere by Lime Crime. And I just wanted kind of like a nude grayish lip today with this look because the eyes are so colorful. I just wanted something that was kind of like easy to wear on the lips. Okay, so that is that Cashmere shade. I've used this shade a lot, so I'm sure you guys have seen it before, but I just find it to be so wearable and it goes with like literally any look. I think this and Bow and Arrow by Kat Von D are just 2 really easy like cool tone nudes that look good on a lot of people. Final thoughts on this Moonspell palette. I really love the color story in here. I think it was really smart how he gives you like 2 rows of fun shades and then a center row of really neutrals. I really loved these two green shades. This Prue color did not disappoint. I was a little bit unsure when I was first swatching the glitters in this palette that they might be chunky and kind of flake off everywhere. And while I did have a tiny bit of fallout from using the brush, after I went in with my finger, they really performed nicely, and this Prue color is absolutely stunning. So yeah, overall really happy with this palette. I think it's really cool that I was able to find this new on Poshmark. And again, I have been really excited about Poshmark lately. I think this is a real win-win for everybody right now. A lot of people are out of work. A lot of people don't have a lot of excess money to spend. So Poshmark is a nice affordable way to shop secondhand, although of course I use secondhand like in quotes because there are a lot of new items on Poshmark as well. But it's a nice way for you to be able to purchase something at a discounted price, and you're also helping the person that you're purchasing it from. You know, it's like you're purchasing direct from somebody, you're not buying it from a big corporation. It's also really great for the environment because instead of you going out and just, you know, being in that consumerist cycle of just purchasing like new like the next new palette from Sephora, which hey, I'm like totally guilty of doing that too. But I think right now, you know, funds are tight. This is really great for the environment. You are recycling and reusing an item, giving an item a new home. So I would really encourage you guys to check out Poshmark. This video is not sponsored by them. I just really love the site. Use your own discretion when shopping for beauty products too. I think that's like pretty obvious. Just make sure that you ask questions and read the descriptions, you know, because obviously you want to stay safe with, you know, hygiene and cleanliness and things like that, but just use good judgment. So anyways, I think that's gonna do it for me. I hope that you guys are having a great day. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of my future videos. You can also follow me over on Instagram if you'd like to. I'm Sarah Sargent Pepper. I do post on stories usually every day over there, so come say hi. All right, I think that's gonna do it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.